The standard SAP Material Master can be a lot, right? It's this incredibly powerful core of your business, but out of the box, it often feels like a cluttered mess. You've got fields from every possible department all crammed together, making your users hunt for what they need. Well, in this explainer, we're going to change that. We're going to learn how to configure the Material Master dialog, transforming that one-size-fits-all screen into a clean, tailored, and super efficient tool that actually helps your people get work done faster. All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about why the default Material Master just doesn't cut it. Then, we're going to break it all down into its basic building blocks, screens and subscreens. After that, we'll use those pieces to build our very own screen sequence and figure out how to get it in front of the right people. And stick around to the end because I've got a fantastic little shortcut that's going to make your purchasing team's life way, way easier. Okay, let's just dive right into the core problem. The standard Material Master is trying to be everything to everybody all at once. And what does that mean in reality? It means your purchasing user is wading through accounting fields they don't care about, and your planning folks are scrolling past sales data they will literally never touch. It just leads to confusion, wasted clicks, and, a much higher chance of someone putting the wrong data in the wrong box. Does this sound familiar to you? You walk by someone's desk and you see them in transaction MM01 or MM02, and their eyes are just glazed over. They're scrolling and scrolling past screen after screen of fields they don't need, just to find the 2 or 3 that are actually part of their job. It's a super common pain point, and it's exactly what we are here to fix today.
And the solution? The good news is all in the configuration. You have the power to become the architect of your company's Material Master. You can decide exactly which fields show up, which tabs are visible, and create this really streamlined process that only shows a user what is relevant to their specific role. And that means better data and better efficiency. It's a win-win.
So if we're going to build our own custom views, we first need to get to know our tools, our components. Think of it like a set of digital Lego bricks. Before you can build that amazing castle, you got to know what each piece does, right? So let's look at the 2 fundamental building blocks we have to work with: logical screens and subscreens. First up is what SAP calls a logical screen. Now, this sounds technical, but trust me, you already know exactly what this is. When you go to create a material, you get that little pop-up box asking you to select views, right? You check Basic Data 1, Purchasing, MRP 1. Well, each one of those is a logical screen. It's just the main tab, the container for all the data inside it. Now, here's where it gets interesting. A logical screen, like Basic Data 1, isn't just one big solid thing. It's actually made up of smaller pieces called subscreens. You can see them on the screen. They're those little boxes with frames around them for general data or for dimensions. These subscreens are our individual Lego bricks. We can move them around, take them out, and use them to build our own custom views. Now, before we get too excited and start moving things everywhere, there is one absolutely critical, non-negotiable rule from SAP. You can't put a subscreen with plant-specific data, like something from the purchasing view, onto a screen that's client-wide, like basic data. And why is that? Well, because basic data is supposed to be the same for every plant, but purchasing data is unique to a single plant. Mixing them up would be a data nightmare. It's a fundamental rule you've just got to follow.
Okay, so we've got our building blocks down. We know about subscreens and the logical screens they live inside. So now, for the fun part, let's actually start putting them together to build a custom workflow. This is where we get to design the user's entire journey through the Material Master.
And this assembly of screens is what we call a screen sequence. All it is the collection of tabs you present to the user and the exact order that they appear in. So when you create your own screen sequence, you are literally designing a custom path for your users to follow when they create or change a material. Now, SAP gives you some standard sequences you can use or just copy, and this table shows you just how big a difference a sequence can make. The modern sequence, 21, uses those nice, clean tab pages, no scrolling. But the older one, 01, was just one long scrolling screen. The look, the feel, the usability, it's a night and day difference for the user. So how do these things actually get built? Well, there are 2 main parts. You have your main screens. Those are the primary tabs, the stuff you see all the time. But then you can also have secondary screens, which are great for holding data that's used less often. You get to them by clicking a button, maybe one labeled additional data, and the bit of magic that links that button to the secondary screen, that's called a function code. It's basically the glue that holds the whole user journey together. So we've designed our perfect, streamlined screen sequence. It's a thing of beauty. But how do we tell SAP when to show it, right? We definitely don't want everyone in the company seeing our new custom view that we built just for junior purchasers. So this is where we lay down the rules that control who sees what and when. And to do this, SAP gives us 4 key factors to play with. It calls them screen references. We can assign our custom sequence based on the transaction code someone's using, their specific user ID, the type of material they're working with, like a finished good versus a raw material, or even their industry sector. This gives you incredibly fine-tuned control.
So what happens if you have a bunch of these rules set up? How does SAP pick which one to use? It uses something called wildcard logic. And what that means is the system is always looking for the most specific match it can possibly find. Think of it like a funnel. It starts at the narrowest, most specific point and only gets more general if it can't find that perfect match.
This table makes it super clear. Let's just walk through it. Look at the top line. If the user is J. Smith in transaction ZMM1 working on a FERT material and you have a rule for that exact combo, bam, that's a perfect match. They get sequence C1. Okay, now look at the next line. Same user, same transaction, but a different material type. The system looks for a perfect match, can't find one, so it broadens its search, and it finds a match for just the transaction and the user, so they get sequence C2. It just keeps working its way down until it finds a match, and if it gets to the bottom and finds nothing, it just falls back to the system default, which is usually sequence 21.
All right, you've got the architecture down. You know how to build the views and how to assign them. So now let me share a really powerful shortcut that's going to make life so much easier for one key group of users, your purchasers.
Okay, this is a real game changer. If your system has a certain business function activated, it's log_mm_ci_3. You unlock a fantastic new ability. You can create a material master record and a purchasing info record at the exact same time, in one single step. That's huge. It totally eliminates that annoying process of creating one, saving, and then going to create the other. And here's how simple it is to use. It's not some new transaction code they have to remember. It's built right into their daily workflow. They just go into the purchase order transaction, ME21N, click the enhanced materials search icon, pop in a plant, and right there on the search screen is a button that says Create New Material. It launches the simplified screen right from where they're already working. It's brilliant. So let's wrap this all up. What's the big takeaway here? The most crucial point is that you are not stuck with that generic out-of-the-box material master. You absolutely have the power, using standard configuration, to take that tool apart and rebuild it into something precise, efficient, and genuinely user-friendly that is tailored to exactly how your business works.
So that leaves me with one final question for you. You have the blueprint now. You understand the building blocks, you know the rules, you are the architect. So what are you going to build first? What's the first cluttered process you're going to simplify? Whose job at your company are you going to make just a little bit easier?